Assalamu alaikum. My name is Brinille Eliane Ellis, and I'm the Public Affairs Officer at the U.S Consulate General here in Lahore. I've been in Lahore since October 2011, and it's been a wonderful experience. In terms of my educational background, I'm originally from New York. I have a BA in French and Literature and Rhetoric from Binghamton University in New York. And I also studied in Paris at the Sorbonne. And after that, I obtained my master's in public administration from George Washington University, where I was a Patricia Roberts Harris Fellow. My first full professional experience was dealing with what we called older adults. And I found it to be very, very rewarding. And among some of those older adults, there were some who had disabilities. And it really, I was very young at the time, and it was such a rewarding experience because it taught me patience. I learned more about the United States and the world because they were full of history about the United States, as they had witnessed so many chapters in our history. And I also learned about issues related to older adults that are very important in our country. One of those being access, discrimination, legislation that pertains to older adults. Following that, I started my career as a diplomat with the U.S. Department of State, and I've served in Senegal, Haiti, Brussels, Turkey, and now wonderful Pakistan. And it's a pleasure to be here and visiting Milestone. It's been a wonderful experience learning more about the disabled community here in Pakistan and how very much empowered they are. I'm very proud to say that the public affairs section at the U.S. Consulate has awarded a grant to Milestone for video production and to communicate messages of empowerment, of tolerance, of open-mindedness, and of access to people with disabilities. Improving the lives of people with disabilities is something that's been a hallmark of the American civil rights movement when you look at it broadly. I think most of us know about the civil rights movement as it pertains to African Americans, which is a very, very important movement. But if you look broader, civil rights in our country pertains to women, it pertains to Native Americans, it pertains to people of all races and different backgrounds. A major movement in our country has been the movement to improve the lives of people with disabilities. And as I say, in our country, we're on a journey, and it's been a long journey. We're very proud of where we are in this journey, but we didn't get there overnight. We do have some dark chapters in our history in terms of how people with disabilities were treated. But we're very proud of many things and where we are today. One major piece of legislation is known as the Americans with Disabilities Act. That act is essentially a civil rights act, which many of us know about the Civil Rights Act of 1964, where African Americans, and well, just people writ large, it said, no discrimination against people regardless of their ethnicity or gender. But the Americans with Disabilities Act affords these same rights to people with disabilities. And so this is, but it's taken on a much broader meaning. It means that if you go to the United States, for example, you're outside the door of any office building, you'll see a little blue knob with a wheelchair symbol. And what is that? It's an automatic door so that a person in a wheelchair can come through the door. We have our buses that are outfitted so that people with wheelchairs can access them. and the subway system in Washington, D.C., where I often am, where our foreign ministry, known as the State Department, is located. The subway system has the subway announcements, stops are announced, and there's a braille for people, those who are visually impaired, so they can know what stop where the subway is at. Another very important thing that we're so proud of is the United States has signed on to the UN's Convention for the Rights of Individuals with Disabilities, and that occurred in July 2009. In the State Department, we have a special advisor for the rights of people with disabilities, and her name is Judith Henneman, and she is a true leader in advancing and improving and empowering the lives for people with disabilities. You know, we view this as not just something that is important within our country, but it is an international issue. And as Secretary Clinton has said, improving the lives of individuals with disabilities is something that is woven into all aspects of our foreign policy. And so we're very proud to have signed it back in 2009, Ambassador Susan Rice, our ambassador to the United Nations, the UN Convention for people, or for the rights of people with disabilities. Also, learning about and respecting individuals who have disabilities is a part of our culture. There are many, many organizations in the United States to help, not only help people who have disabilities just be a part of mainstream America, but also to help people who may not have a disability understand more about people who have disabilities and how they should be treated. You know, now it's really second nature, I think, for most of us in the United States. We've seen very high-ranking individuals in our government who may have a disability. We go to school with you know, children, or we work with individuals with disabilities. I've been in trainings where the trainer has worked with a sign language interpreter to teach us, you know, the course material. And so this is, you know, a normal part of everyday life. But again, it's always a process to educate people. And it's about empowerment. And it's about knowing that people have a different lifestyle. But that doesn't mean that they cannot be as fulfilled and as enriched as someone who may not have a disability. So we're also very, very proud, the U.S. Consulate General, to have partnered with Milestone to produce these wonderful videos that I just have seen. They're very artistic and cutting edge to educate the public on learning more about people with disabilities. I think one of the things that is very important, and I've learned personally, is